And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big John McCarthy.
Well, as my man Mauro Ranallo would say about 15 years ago, yo, 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 and away we go. Oh, we got a lot to talk about. We've got the UFC that just happened, Fight Night 221 with Merab Dvalishvili taking on Peter Yan and just absolutely handling him. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Bellator 292 from San Jose, California, where Usman Nurmagomedov did what most people just can't do because some bitch is pretty special. We're going to talk about that. My man Josh, you didn't even have to get on a plane. I hate you. You are a bad human being. You need to suffer more.
It's a lot harder to do shows in San Jose when you're here, when you live here, and then we have the show here.
Especially when you forget your clothes.
T-shirts. Yeah. Dave, I packed my whole suit. At least I thought I packed my whole suit. Took it to the hotel.
That's it. Podcast Dave. Josh did not pack his whole suit because if Josh packed his whole suit, Josh would not have been running home.
So when we do rehearsals, right? Rehearsals is like about, I'd say 4 hours before, 3.5, 4 hours before the show starts. So we do 2 hours, 2.5 hours of rehearsal, and then we have I'd say about 45 minutes to an hour 15, depending on how fast the rehearsals go, to go back to our room normally and change. Some venues you can't go back to the hotel, so you got to bring your stuff. I kid you not, man. I fucking go back to the hotel, and I'm actually like, we get food first, John, and I'm like dinking around going, I got time. No big deal. Hotel's right there. No big deal. Get there. No fucking shirt. My whole suit, everything. It's almost 3 o'clock. You just gone
bare chested with a tie around your neck.
Man, with my taco meat showing, right?
Taco meat showing. There you go.
Shout out to Rafian Stotts, man. Mr. Taco Meat.
Taco meat, man.
I ain't got no taco meat.
You ain't got no
That's
taco
the
problem.
meat. No, I got that smooth baby butt look on the chest there, buddy. I'm looking like fucking Peter Yan right there.
Like a 12-year-old boy.
And so, Dave, at like 3 o'clock, getting on 87 or 85 is just...
Oh, yeah, hell.
And when you're coming from downtown, which is where the SAP arena is, it just starts back. And I was like, shit. It was literally like 250 or 245. I jump in my car because my car's at the hotel, fly home, racing through traffic, I'm in the carpool lane, not supposed to be in the carpool lane because of the times. I get home, and then I get there, grab my shirt, put it on. I finish getting dressed there, and then I rush back in, drop my car off at the hotel, and luckily, Conrad had just pulled up and was able to take me straight to the venue. But it was like I was supposed to be there at 3:50. I didn't get there till 3:30, 3 something. I was like, it was just the stress of going through it all.
We sent him back for you because we knew.
I hate being late, man. I hate being fucking late. It just drives me absolutely. And I don't like the stress of it. I'm the guy that'll show up to the airport 2 hours early, easily 2 hours.
Yeah, I'm not that.
I don't want to deal with the stress, man.
I love it.
It's the unknown.
Man, this morning was fantastic.
I agree with Josh.
I got up at...
Oh, what? Yeah.
My ride was... My flight was at 6. My ride was at 5. And I got to the airport. I still had too much time.
Wait. Your flight was at 6?
Yeah. Took off at 6.
So
boarded at 5:35.
Because, you went to San Jose, right? You didn't go to SFO, obviously. Yeah. But San Jose is only 3 or 4 minutes down the highway there, which is fine. It's not far, but you're lucky because sometimes that's the thing that drives me nuts. It's the unknown. Sometimes a Hawaii flight goes out of there if you're in that terminal, and that's what my point is. Is it security ends up being busy? You're like,
super busy. But I have opened my eyes, did that, went right to the front of the line. You see. You just got to be able to do also.
What I got to do is I got to get
that's why you get all those things. When you travel a lot, clear, global entry.
You don't have pre-check?
I don't have pre-check, man.
What?
Wow. No, I don't have TS pre. I had a global entry, but then it expired. So I got to go get it again. It expires every 5 years.
I had TSA taken away.
They already have your... They already have your fingerprints and your retina and everything. You might as well just go back and remove
Yeah, I
it.
know. I don't know. I think you have to do it for if you do it for the global entry, right? Because when I got my global entry, it automatically gives you TSA pre-check.
Supposedly.
So then you have to go through another interview. Like if you had any problems, if you did background. Like for me, when I did the global entry, I had to sit down for like a 30 or 40-minute long interview. And you have to do that in San Francisco because they don't do that in San Jose.
Yeah, I went for like 5 years
drive
without TSA because they took it away. Because I had ammunition in my bag. I had ammunition in my bag. I went through.
The fuck?
Oh, dude.
Remind me not to travel next to you, buddy.
Okay, I have my daughter's truck, a brand new truck that she had gotten, and so I think it was UFC 177. It was in Sacramento. I fly from Sacramento back home, get in her truck, and take off and go across the country to Atlanta, and to drop her truck off. And I had a gun with me the whole time. It's normal for me, and I had a bunch of rounds. Well, I was just going to give the gun to my daughter, gave her the rounds, she stuck the fucking rounds back in my bag. I was like, because they said, do you have anything in your bag you shouldn't have? Nope. She goes through the thing. They pull out this fucking pack of 20 fucking rounds. I go, shit. She put it in my bag. So for about 5 years flying, no TSA. Finally got it back.
Can you imagine being like a pothead?
terrorist.
Can you imagine being like a pothead or someone who does a lot of coke or meth and like just accidentally put a bag in your baggie, not realizing, like in your travel bag, not realizing, and then you show up at the airport. Can you imagine?
Yeah. You know what your name is? Brittany Griner.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. The fucking girl.
She just does it in the Soviet. She was in Moscow, right?
I believe so. Yeah, she was playing basketball over there, Russian basketball. Yeah. Look, before we get into any of this stuff, I want to say, hey, go to our OnlyFans.com/weighing in. Check us out there. It's free. We are bringing extra content over there. I want to say something real quick. We have done some great interviews this week that we're going to be dropping on our channel here at the YouTube, but we're also going to have some of the content available over on OnlyFans. Make sure you guys check it out over there. It's free, guys. Just sign up. Get on over there, and then this will give you guys a chance to submit your fan questions for us, too, for a midweek show. That's where we're only going to be taking questions from our OnlyFans, so we can connect with you guys more, actually answer your guys' questions, the people that are willing to go ahead and follow us out that way. So OnlyFans.com/weighing in. Before we get into the UFC talk with Peter Yan and Merab, I want you guys to make sure you smash. You see that? Smash the subscribe button. And because I said that we were going to be dropping some big-time names this week and some interviews, I want you guys to make sure you hit that little bell. So you guys know when those interviews drop.
Smash.
Yeah, smash.
Oh, I see.
Smash. You like that?
Yeah.
I smashed
Little
this guy.
that is called foreshadowing.
Oh, I like that. John, look at the big brain on John.
Big brain on Brad.
What do you call what is rear shadowing?
That's when the sunlight shines off your ass.
That's awesome. Hey, have you seen this?
That happens to be a lot.
Have you guys seen this new thing that people are doing? They're saying that it's supposed to be good for your health. Is it they're tanning their anuses? So you see people like at the beach, literally like fucking spreading their butt cheeks and tanning their anuses because the sun and the vitamin D helps with your body recovery. Swear to you, bro. I don't even know if this is a joke or not. I'm not joking, brother. I'm telling you, Dave. Dave can look it up.
It's weird that people have lived for like 100 plus years in the history of life, yet we come up with tanning anuses.
I love it. If a little bit more vitamin D in some of those spots and locations give you a little extra love. I've heard it. Well, go ahead. Explain. Wait, what does it say? What is it supposed to do?
The perineum is a sensitive area of your body that when exposed to the
perineum is called the taint.
risk of developing skin.
Yeah. When exposed to what? When exposed to what? What does it say?
It says, the Rolling Stone says, sorry, anus tanning is not really a thing.
Ah, man.
It says the perineum is a sensitive area of your body that when exposed to the sun raises your risk of developing skin cancer.
Oh,
Josh,
nice.
you got to go off TikTok.
So you get skin cancer on your
TikTok.
taint. Because it taint your balls and
Hey.
it taint your ass. It's that skin in
I love
between.
it. I love it. I thought it was a good idea. Hey, you know, get the rest of your cinnamon roll looking nice and nice and tan. Get the whole cinnamon roll to look tan, buddy.
Oh, dude.
All right, get that off my screen. I can't believe I just searched that. Can't believe that's in my history now.
Oh shit!
I'm gonna start getting ads for like sunblock for your anus.
This podcast day is gonna be searching this search engine. What the fuck were you looking up? What's going on in his history?
I could just see Josh now fucking putting sunblock on his bunghole.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna make sure I don't get skin cancer.
I hope it burns.
Next time I'm in the shower, she's gonna be looking like bending over, looking at me to see if it's bleached.
Well, there's this other thing that people like. I guess I don't know this either, but then the actors and actresses and people that do like TV, they put preparation H around their face and their eyes.
Oh no shit!
It tightens the skin.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's been for a long time.
That's been for a while. Okay.
Yeah. Now
All
the
right,
new
at least
one.
at least I got one.
Hold
thing
it. Hold it.
the new one.
The new one that all the, well, I don't want to say actresses, but mostly actresses have been doing is there's some kind of injection of a foreskin from when they do a, what do you call it? Fucking circumcision. They take that skin and then they grind it up and they do this process, and women now inject it in their face because it helps with wrinkles.
Oh God.
Oh God, man.
Thank you.
Is that to do with like the?
This is why.
What are we doing?
This is why I say I'm not freaking doing the city stuff anymore. I'm just in the country. I don't give a shit. See the wrinkles? No, okay. Question: do I do makeup?
No, you don't.
No.
No.
I don't care. Yeah.
But is that to do with?
I don't hold it against you. I just look and go, dude. All right, I'm old. I got wrinkles. I don't give a shit.
Well, I've got video footage of when you used to do makeup. So
that's because everyone forces me. They make me feel bad, like I'm fucking cheating somebody because they're not going to get their fucking full thing.
Oh man, that's so great.
Is that related to stem cell treatment though? The foreskin thing?
No, it's not stem cell. It's some kind of new facial therapy thing. That's what they're doing. I'm like, that is.
I'm planning a trip right now down to Mexico to do some stem cells with one of my old buddies who owns a location down there. Right outside of Tijuana. The guy who used to own Scotty, who used to own On the Mat. You remember On the Mat?
Yeah, I remember On the Mat.
So Scotty owns him and a partner own a hospital down there that does stem cell treatments, and that is where Sean O'Malley went.
Is it
Sean O'Malley supposedly, and he's the one that said this, got that in a place that you should not get it.
Oh, he got it in his dick.
Yeah.
That's fucking bro. There's things that I'm never gonna let you put near my. You know what?
Thank you very much.
Needle was one of them.
Needle and knives are one of them.
Yeah, you are not coming anywhere. I'm not no Lorena Bobbitt around this motherfucker.
Thank you very much. See, and look at that. You know how long ago that was? That Lorena Bobbitt. That name still comes up. Huh?
30 years? 30 years? At least 30
I don't know,
years.
but dude, John Wayne Bobbitt was at UFC, I want to say 6.
He went into porn after that.
Yeah, he went into porn with his
after that.
His crooked, scarred fucking crown from someone cutting it off.
Man,
what are we talking about?
Someone, his wife.
Well, that's
all right.
Don't put your wife in a position where you piss her off because you're sleeping with someone else.
Oh man! All right, well, hey, make sure you guys hit that bell because we're gonna be dropping some shows throughout the week, and you guys don't want to miss it, man. It's gonna be fun. We had some great times. We had a lot of people that were in town for the San Jose events. We ran into Clay Guida, an old nemesis of mine, awesome. But you know what? It was awesome, man. It was great. It's funny because John had said that he had said some nice things about me, and it's funny because on the broadcast I had said a bunch of nice things about him.
Yeah,
and
you did.
He's an absolute wonderful person, and I told him it's the first time we really talked about the past, and I said to him, I go, I kind of had some resentment towards you for about 2-3 years after we fought, but John, really what it was I was like, man, that guy's nowhere near as good as me, but he beat me. But then I saw how good. I see how good his career. I see how awesome his career ended up being, and he's a fantastic person. He's a fantastic person. He's a fantastic fighter.
Do you remember his fight with Tyson Griffin? Because he fought Tyson Griffin in Ireland, I think it was the UFC
Yep.
72.
I don't
And
know where they fought, but I know they fought.
it was in Ireland. And man, I'll tell you what, that fight was unbelievable. It had everything. Everything you could want in an MMA fight. It had big time stand up. It had great submissions. It had beautiful takedowns. It had just tempo and pace. And I loved that fight. It was so good. But the one thing I got out of it was because Clay lost a split decision in that one. And it was, I really thought it was because of his hair. It looks like he's getting hit because his hair is flopping back and he had that long hair. Now he doesn't have the long hair anymore. But I told him, I said, man, you got to do something with it. He goes, I said, you got to get rid of the hair or tie it up or something. Right? He goes, I can't do that. It's like my trademark. It's like,
Pretty much.
well, there you go.
It's true. But then, who doesn't get enough respect in the sport was Tyson Griffin. He was a phenomenal fighter, man. He was my training partner towards the end of his career.
He was slick.
He was a phenomenal fighter. Him and his fight with Frankie Edgar, it awed me. The two of them just like ferrets rolling around on the
Okay,
mat,
what awed me, if you
takedowns.
go back, the knee bars by both were disgusting.
Yep.
They were disgusting as far as how hyperextended both of their knees were. They didn't stop.
Yep.
I'm like, oh my God. Oh, it's gross. It's going to go.
You could take that fight and realize that both those guys, like especially that gave you a perception of exactly how tough Frankie was. And then you see the Gray Maynard fights and it all makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? And then I trained with Tyson.
Just a gamer.
And he's just a gamer, man. He would come in and spar with me knowing he was out of shape, whatever it was. He would fucking give it his all. And he was such a great teammate to have. Him and Gray Maynard and, and obviously all the other guys that I trained with. But those two guys towards the end of my career, they came into AKA. They left Couture's and they came to AKA. And fuck, they were awesome, man. They were so great to have there. Loved them.
First time I ever saw Tyson fight was against Uriah Faber in King of the Cage.
Oh yeah, was it King of the Cage? It was King of the Cage.
King of the Cage. Yeah.
Calusa or
That's Calusa, I think. Yeah.
Calusa, I think it was Calusa.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually cornered Gray Maynard against Clay Guida in New Jersey.
That was a horrible fight.
Horrible fight. Horrible fight. Gray and I were really close. But man, Gray fucking, I thought he was going to get up and beat me up in the middle of the fucking fight. Because when I was cornered, I'm like, Gray.
Keep going.
I'm like, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing.
No. Go back to Tyson Griffin there. What do you got there?
Okay. What did you want?
You were looking at Tyson Griffin.
Yeah.
And
What
down
did you want?
go down to where it says Uriah Faber.
Uriah.
Okay.
All the way
Keep
down
going.
there, right there. Third
It's
fight.
gonna be way down.
GC 42.
Yep.
Yeah, but it doesn't say where it was.
So was it Gladiator Challenge?
Yeah, it was a Gladiator Challenge.
I thought I was thinking it was a King of the Cage.
Pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, well,
It was a
owned by the
Lakeport.
same people.
Lakeport,
Lakeport.
California. Where the fuck is Lakeport? I don't even know where Lakeport is.
It's right in the middle of California.
Okay.
Well, it's below you. So that's,
Oh, it's below me. So more like probably towards Fresno.
yeah.
Probably down towards Lemoore,
I think so,
Lakeport,
yeah.
Fresno, that area there somewhere. I mean, look at the guy. Look at his fucking resume, though. That's Tyson Griffin's resume right there.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
scroll through that resume.
Look at the name.
Go all the way down. You got Dwayne Ludwig,
Frankie Edgar, Clay Guida,
Uriah
Jason
Faber.
Tebow,
Jeez,
Marcus
Thiago
Aurelio.
Tavares.
Remember Marcus Aurelio when everyone thought he was
Yep.
the thing?
Oh yeah.
Thiago Tavares,
Oh yeah. Sean
Sean
Shirk.
Shirk,
Dos
RDA,
Anjos.
Hermes Franca, who you fought.
Jeez. Scroll
I
up
mean,
more, Dave.
It's a hell of a list.
Oh, man.
Evan
Yeah,
Dunham,
and then
Takanori Gomi,
Yeah.
Manny Gamburian.
Nick Lentz. Jeez, man, oh man, Efren Escudero, Josiah, Jay-Z. Wow, Jay-Z, Luis Firmino.
Who you fought?
I mean, Buscape. Yeah, I fought Jay-Z. He was a fucking stud, that guy.
Yeah,
He was a stud.
I ref
So
that fight.
surprised that why did he never go to the UFC?
Don't know.
Because he was always in either K1 or Pride.
Yeah,
or he was
K1
always-
Pride,
Yeah,
He
he
was
was
always
always over
considered
there
one
on
of the
that
best
side.
155ers for
He
a long
was.
time.
He was good. He was good, man. Then he went to Strike Force and fought for us for a while. He was. I was really nervous for that fight.
Remember
He-
Bart
he had
Polachowski?
so much power.
Redheaded guy? Art
I
Polashowski.
think I do. Yes. Kind of goofy looking.
One of them
Click
crazy
on him.
redheads,
The
man.
bar. Yeah. Polish guy, right?
You think with
Click on him.
Polachevsky?
Polachevsky. Come on. Yeah, I do remember him. I do.
yeah, he is tough.
Yeah. I do remember him. I just can't remember how good he
Normally
was.
he didn't have that hair.
Got it. I was like, I don't remember the hair though. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah,
Anyways,
sleeved out. He's good.
John,
He's
we
tough.
could sit here all night and talk about this.
You know, we
fucking-
could.
You get me on a roll. We could.
Just
But you know what?
the names.
Let's sum it up right now. Let's talk about what happened today in the sport.
All right,
Now let's not talk
we'll
about what
go
happened
today.
20 years ago. Let's talk about what happened today.
What happened 20 years ago is important about today.
It is.
There you
yeah,
go.
Yeah, because these light guys right here wouldn't be in this card if it wasn't for us.
No, they would not. Peter
All right,
Yan
let's
going
go.
up against Marab Dvalishvili. I love it. I love that dude. I think he's so fun. I think he is just a fucking ball of energy. I love watching him. Peter Yan coming into this, he was the favorite, and Marab basically said, I don't give a shit who you pick as a favorite. I don't give a shit if he pushes me in the fucking weigh-in things or anything like that. I'm going to whoop that ass at 48 takedown attempts. I didn't do 48 takedown attempts in a wrestling practice.
Yeah, an hour and a half to do it.
Dude, I know.
Yeah.
Come on. That's a ton. That is
That's
so
crazy.
much output. That
You
is
know,
so exhausting.
You know who had the record before that, right?
No.
Cain Velasquez.
Decay?
Cain Velasquez against Junior. I believe it was the first fight.
Oh.
Yep, Cain Velasquez against Junior. Not the first fight. Sorry, the second fight.
Second fight.
I
was
always
gonna say,
forget
first
about
fight
the
he didn't
first
get
fight.
any.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said I always try to forget about the first fight. But to me that was that's crazy because you think about that, right? This guy's 135 at a bantamweight,
Yep.
40 something takedown attempts. I think Cain had the record at 38. I think is what it was.
Jesus.
Something somewhere around there. Yeah, but that's for a heavyweight though, John.
That's crazy.
A heavyweight.
Crazy.
That's how many. But those were just attempts. You know
Yeah.
what's your idea of an attempt? Like just snatching the leg and then letting go.
You
of it?
at
It's like,
least
what's-
attempted. You snatched the leg. You got, you went for a double. You went for a single. You got the leg into your arms. You had something, and then you lost it. Okay, but it's an attempt.
Yeah. Here's the thing. He only got like 7 of them or 8 of them.
He got double digits.
No.
He got double digits.
Going into the fifth. Okay, then he must have got
double
I don't know,
digits.
but at the end of the 4th round, going into the
Yeah.
5th, they said he only had 6.
like 8.
8. They
All right,
said
Dave,
6.
look up. How many takedowns did Marab get against Peter Yan tonight? That is
think
your
double
official
digits?
job. I thought
most
Brendan
people-
said in the end it was double digits.
That lets you know how good Peter Yan is because most people,
Oh, yeah.
if you get 3 or 4, or if you get 5 or 6, the fight's over. Like you just control the top. You don't need to get more than 5 or 6. That lets you know how fucking phenomenal of a wrestler, scrambler, whatever it is that Peter Yan is. Just a fantastic. To me, it was a fantastic fight. But I'm a nerd. I nerd out and geek out on shit like this when it comes to these type of fighters.
Takedowns,
Because-
11.
Wow,
That's
Wow.
double digits.
Okay, Captain Obvious. Shit. No fucking shit, right?
I just had to go into the
Guys.
double digits again.
Oh, jeez. John, I didn't listen to the scorecards. What was the scorecards? Because I had Peter winning the first round. I had him losing the rest.
I believe they were mostly.
Or was it 50-40?
I think 50
50-45?
And
Wow.
I didn't listen to it either. I heard one.
I didn't listen to it.
50-45, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Across the board.
Jeez, yeah. Because I had Peter winning the first round.
I didn't. I had him getting zipped.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. But the fight seems so much closer. It's so funny because Peter started off with the calf kicks. So Yan started off with the calf kicks, and then Marab started kicking, but Marab threw 3 or 4, and that changed the dynamic of the fight.
Yeah. it did.
Whereas Yan was landing a lot more of the calf kicks, and it had a little bit of an effect.
Not
but as
really.
soon as he hurt his leg, he stopped kicking.
That's right.
Yan stopped kicking because he didn't want to bring attention back to his leg. Because that's one of the biggest things that I used to do, John, is someone kicked me with something or hit me with something that I felt hurt me or it just it landed clean.
Yeah.
I would try to do the same exact thing right back to them. So when I didn't like something, I wouldn't
It
throw
was
that
coming back
anymore.
your way.
Yeah, when I didn't like it, I would just leave. I wouldn't do it again to them because it would remind them. Okay, then they didn't like it. They're gonna throw it to me. I hated that. So, but I mean, that was one of my tricks. When they landed something that landed on me, I would throw it right back at them in the same position and see if they liked it or not. So, but Jan really is struggling right now.
He's struggling big.
He
time.
looked, yeah.
He doesn't look the same.
Also, and I think the other thing too,
confidence is gone. The confidence is gone. He doesn't have. He is not the same striker.
No.
He doesn't have the same output. He's worried about being taken down, and he did a great job of stopping. It was almost like in the first round. The one thing I saw is he took that. Merab went for the shot, kind of had that little scramble, and I saw his. I want to say it was his right leg. It looked like he hurt his knee, and he took that weird step, and I was trying to watch to see if it was gonna affect him. It didn't look like it did, but I was like, oh, I thought he hurt his knee. Maybe he didn't, but from that point, just you output wise, his output now is half of what it used to be because he used to build. He would start a little bit slow and he would get his reads and he would look, for the tells of what he could, try to, exploit, but he would always build. He's not building at all. He's staying in that same gear.
I mean,
but you got to give Merab all the credit. He's
absolutely
a fucking good fighter. He brings a damn pace and a fucking consistent pressure that is hard to deal with. You got to hurt him, or he's going to be in the middle of your fucking chest, fucking going after takedowns, going after ground and pound, trying to throw short elbows. I love the dude's personality. I think he's fun to watch. I love his commitment to his friendship with Aljamain. Because we've seen it where guys have worked out for a long time together. And in the end, I want that strap, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But I love, the way he looks at it, and who do you want to fight next? I don't care. Just give me somebody. Well, I know somebody, and I know you're not going to like it. I would love to see Umar Nurmagomedov and Merab.
Oh, I would love to see that fight too. I don't think Umar's. I think he needs one more fight.
I knew you would say that.
Top 6 or 7. That top 6 or 5
I knew you would
somewhere
say
in there.
That. And no, he doesn't want anybody else. That would be a great fight.
I think he needs. I know. I like that fight. I do like that fight for him, but I think he needs one more fight because he hasn't had a chance to fight someone in the top 6. And there's a jump.
Yeah,
in the level of
absolutely
of just not just skill level, but just mentality. And I think Umar needs to get to that. And I think he's already got it himself. But there's building blocks for this. He needs to experience another person who has it at the level he has it at. That mentality, the skill level, all those things.
Do you remember that building block that you wanted for this brother of his named Usman?
Yeah, that's true.
He didn't need it.
This is very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't get it. And I was actually very nervous for him, John.
And this is my whole point with this. And I'm not saying I understand why you're saying it. But when you train the way they train and you train around the people that they train with, maybe you don't need those same things as much as someone else.
Yeah, because when we sit down with them, we had a couple good interviews this week, but we sat down with one of them this week. And we sat down with Umar last week. He was up on our channel now. Yeah. Just the confidence. They know they have that. I say Kobe Bryant because Kobe Bryant has a video out where he talks about
it's Mamba mentality.
I'm working double the amount of times that other people are. So double.
I'm not working
twice as good,
twice as hard as everybody else. There's something wrong.
Well, because let's just say like in a year-long span, right? He would get up at 4, he'd work out for 2 hours, and he'd go back home, eat, shower, sleep. Get up again at 8, work out for 2 hours, go home, eat, shower, sleep. Do it again at say 2, eat, shower, sleep. Then do it again in the evening at like 8 o'clock for 2 hours.
A lot of wasted
eat, shower,
water,
sleep,
though,
and then
really.
You got to eat, buddy. You got to shower, got to rinse off. But he's like, if I did that for a year long, he's like, think about, I've gotten 2 more workouts in more so than the other people that I'm doubling. I'm twice as good as them within half the time. Within half the time. Yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah.
I can be. Yeah. But I look at Umar, I look at Usman, I look at Islam, all of them, is that they have that mentality of if they got nothing to do, they go run. If they got nothing to do, they go lift. If they got nothing, and it doesn't have to be, everyone thinks it has to be an intense workout. It doesn't need to be intense. It just needs to be in there, breaking a sweat, working on drills. I remember training with, doing wall drills with Habib one time, and he was getting ready for a fight, and I had already had my fight probably about 2 weeks before that. And so he's like, hey, brother, I just need someone to flow with against the wall. For an hour straight, we didn't train with the other guys. We just sat against the wall, and we just worked on transition. Boom, drop on the leg, lift. No pressure.
No real fighting back.
Flow.
Just let it flow.
A lot of flow. Take down, okay, push on the head, get up. Got your knees, dig the underhooks. Just a flow of it all, okay? Bounce you off the wall, pull you up, lift a little bit, put your hands on the ground, get on your head. Just all this for an hour straight. It was not hard. But at the end of that thing,
exhausting.
Fucking a puddle around where we were at. A puddle of just sweat all up and down that section of the mat.
Yeah.
And we but like I said, you don't have to go hard every single time. So I think that mentality of which Umar and Usman that they have, it's going to carry over. Plus, when you're training around other fighters that are at the level that they're at, and Merab, he's got that guy. He's got Aljo. He's got Aljo to be like, hey, I'm the champ. You now are number one contender, or number two, whatever it is.
Right there,
Sean O'Malley.
Yeah,
he's right there.
Right there.
I'm interested to see if they're going to have Aljo. Who's Aljo fighting next?
Henry,
right? And then after Henry, he's talking about going up to 45.
He's talking about going up to 45.
Yeah.
I don't blame him for going up to 45.
That's a tough.
I'm not saying it's not tough, but he's big for the weight class anyways. And Josh, as you get older, that weight cut, it has an effect.
Just don't want to do it. You don't want to do it anymore.
It's not only you don't want to do it.
Do you look at Merab though? Do you look at Merab like a
I look
John
at
Fitch?
Yeah, Merab is exactly that. Merab is a much more exciting Sean Shirk. He's stocky and compact the same way. He goes after takedowns in that same fashion, but
that's a great analogy.
He also goes after damage, and he's he's that guy that he brings it. He brings it in the fight. Now it may not be everybody's love of style, but he'll stand and bang with guys too. He was throwing with Jan. He was just being smart of throwing his hands and then going in and shooting him for the takedown 48 frickin' times. Okay. Smart. Absolute beautiful game plan and fits right into what he does well.
Yeah. I feel like there's something about him that the UFC is going to have a hard time pushing. It's not that I think he's exciting. And I like that he has a personality.
He's got a great personality. I think he's easy for the UFC. Because look, he's excitable. He's friendly. If you meet him, he's super friendly. Friendly guy.
Yeah, I've heard. I've
nice
never met
to everyone.
I've heard.
Yeah, but he also, look at him with the crowd, He's thanking, the people coming, from Georgia and supporting him and stuff and all that. Great. We're only 5 million, but we're strong. Okay, that's great.
I love that.
He brings an enthusiasm, and as long as you have that enthusiasm, and when you fight as hard as he does, how can the UFC not? Come on, that's an easy one. Now he didn't get beat, but
isn't Topuria from Georgia?
Who?
Topuria, isn't he from Georgia?
I'm not sure he's from Georgia.
Can you look that up, Dave?
There's not a
whole lot.
I think who's from Georgia is Giga
Chikadze, and then I think Topuria is from Georgia.
I didn't
Spain.
I didn't think Spain. Yeah,
Spain.
I didn't think Topuria was. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I saw him. I think he had posted up like a bunch of Georgia flags.
Okay.
In Twitter, and so I was like, is he from there too?
Yeah. But Giga Chikadze is.
Yeah.
There you go.
He's good. Man.
He is.
He's got to work on his takedown defense, but
everything comes with
good.
time.
Yeah. Where does Peter Yan go from here?
I think Peter needs to regroup. Peter needs to go, and you can take a look at the lower end of the bantamweight division and start looking at some of those fighters. He needs to start getting his confidence back. He needs to get that flow back. He needs to get back to the guy that had a pressure but beautiful lateral footwork where he created angles and he popped guys, and he got. How many times did you see him? He used to be able to, the foot sweeps and everything. That's because he got people off balance. It wasn't so much that he would set people up. They would be in a position, they're off balance, and all of a sudden they're going over. Sometimes he didn't even follow him down, but that was from him creating the angles with his footwork, and it's not happening. It's different.
Yeah, who did he do that to? He did it a lot to, I believe, Jose Aldo.
He did a lot to Aldo. He did a lot to Uriah Faber. He did it to Aljamain in the first fight. You know?
Yeah.
Second fight, not so much.
Well, we're going to see what happens, how this all plays out. If Henry ends up beating or losing to Aljo, however that plays out. If Aljo wins, I see him. I think he'll go to 45.
I honestly do.
If he doesn't win. If he doesn't win,
different.
Him and Henry would be a fucking great fight. Merab.
Be a great fight. Yeah.
That'd be fantastic.
It would.
I would.
So now the question is, if you were the UFC, who would you put against Henry in that first match? Would you put Sean or Merab?
Merab.
You put Merab.
Isn't the right question? If you're the UFC,
who's going to make you more money?
Title up.
Yeah, that's true.
Who's a vacant title when Henry retires again?
He's not going to retire.
No, he's not going to retire again. No, he's gonna fight one. I think if he wins, the concern is if he wins, he wants to challenge Volk. He wants to go to Volk.
Yep.
He wants to be that guy.
Yep.
So then you leave yourself with a vacant title. That'll piss off the UFC, of course. But unless they laid out that game plan already, unless they laid it out.
But then you put Merab and O'Malley together. It's a great fight.
Yeah.
I don't know if O'Malley can handle the pressure of Merab.
I don't think so. Not the cardio either. I don't think he can handle that.
I think in the beginning he'd do okay, but it's gonna get to him.
Yeah.
5 rounds.
Yep.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. I mean that was just a fucking insane pace that these guys were setting today.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that Peter looked tired. He just looked like he was.
No, he was in shape.
The punch.
Yeah,
he was in shape. Phenomenal. You can't fight that pace and still walk back to your corner after the second or third round and if you're not in shape. Yeah. He's in shape. All right, next fight.
Just real quick before you move on to the next one, did you guys hear DC and Paul Felder go back and forth on the fight with Stotts, and they were talking about, and they ended up having like a conversation about Bellator, but like then Paul realized he was talking about Bellator, and he kind of
it was hysterical.
Had to pull away from it. It's kind of weird, right?
It was hysterical.
It's kind of an awkward moment.
Yeah,
because they don't like to acknowledge those champions, but
yeah, I know. That's your teammate, dude. Like. I bring up DC and Kane all the time on our broadcast, and it's because they're my friends. Like, if it wasn't somebody I'm not friends with, I'm not just going to bring them up randomly, But, like, Stotts trained with Paul Felder. He knows him very well. The last time Rob lost, I think, was to Stotts, correct?
No, the only time Stotts lost was to Merab.
The only time Stotts lost was to Merab, sorry.
That was at, I think, Vinny Naglia's got, is it Vinny Naglia? No. Lou Naglia, excuse me. Lou Naglia's got his Ring of Fire. I think that's where Merab and Stotts fought, and it was on one of those Dana White's looking for a fight things, because they were actually looking at Rafion. And Merab spinning back fist 15 seconds in, boom. You only lost, obvious, Rafion made a mistake, young in his career, but that's what got Merab to the UFC, and. It was a good pickup. You remember one of his first fights? It was Ricky Simone's first fight. Was against Merab. Remember that one where it ended where Merab was out at the end of the fight, unconscious?
That's right.
I think that's his only loss in the UFC.
Wow, Ricky Simone. That guy doesn't like me anymore on Twitter.
What did you do?
I said something like, I don't know. I said, well, one of his fans said, well, why did had commented on Umar's tweet, and he said something like, why don't you ask Ricky Simone? Ricky Simone will take that fight. And I said, and I just put it on there. I said,
I think they're 10-11 right now.
I said, reach out. I said, well, why doesn't Ricky just ask for the fight? I said, Umar's obviously saying he'll fight anyone if Ricky says he wants to fight. Then Ricky gets on there and goes, I'm not the fucking matchmaker, man. Plus, I'm already booked. And I was like, and he just got into this whole thing and started talking about like how I wasn't a world champion because I fought in Strike Force and this and that. I was like, okay, buddy, calm down, king of the cage. I was like, this guy.
I love him.
Make me drive up to fucking Sacramento and spank you.
I think you got to drive a lot farther than Sacramento.
Where's he at? I don't even know where the fuck he's at. I thought he was at Alpha Male.
I don't think so anymore. I mean,
No?
he
No.
he was.
Where
with,
is Ricky Simone at?
He was with Portland top team for a while.
Portland? Oh, he's with Brent Primus?
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
That's where he
Yeah.
says he currently.
Yeah.
I'll call up Primus and tell him to fucking put you over his knee, kid.
Just call
Calm down.
Fabio Skerner.
Yeah, this kid. Oh, yeah, Dong
Call you
Song.
Dong
That should be a
Song.
good fight. That should be a good fight. Yeah, Dong Song. Yeah, Dong Song with him.
Ooh, that's a
I
tough
guess
fight.
we'll see. Next fight.
He ain't getting an
Volkov
easy
versus
one.
Romanov.
And that right there tells you that he's not with Alpha Male because Yadong Song is.
Yeah, that's true. All right, next.
All right, we had Alexander Volkov against Alexander Romanov in a heavyweight battle. Romanov, as soon as I saw him, I went, yeah, you're not going to do well today.
Mm-hmm.
He is
Yeah.
way heavier. Man, he put on some weight. You can't put on that guy. You knew, okay, he's got to do this fast, and that's what he tried to do. He tried to get in there and take him down. It didn't work. There was a fence grab that absolutely could have caused some problems in that, but wasn't called. Volkov gets out of that takedown, and from that point, it was pretty much over.
Yeah.
Romanov kind of dove for another and just got clipped and
Yeah, nothing.
never got up.
Krylov and Span.
Talk to me, brother. Go ahead. I just talked that one out. You can talk this one out. I was disappointed.
You know what it is,
Disappointed.
John, right? No,
Yeah.
I was disappointed as well. But what happens with people that were getting or are scared to get tired and they find this new cardio, then they think they can just fight recklessly and careless and do scrambles and do all these things. No, you still have to learn how to pace yourself because it doesn't matter how great a shape you're in. As soon as you stop moving, you're like, oh, fuck, I'm tired. And that's exactly what happened. He went so hard in everything instead of slowing the pace
Both
of the
of them
fight
did.
down. Oh, I'm in phenomenal shape. I've trained. Now this newfound confidence because I've done cardio. You still need to fight smart.
Yeah.
He just didn't fight smart. He's going to have to work on that. That's the thing, And so it doesn't matter what kind of shape you're in. If you don't pace yourself, not pace yourself, but if you don't take moments to catch your breath,
That's it.
control the situation, slow the pace down.
All it takes
when
is
you
5
have
seconds.
exactly. Take a step back. That's when you see Chandler do the step back
Yeah,
and the bounce.
back. Yeah.
Get myself back and gathered again. Okay,
Then
re-enter.
come back.
That's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
And so with Span, he's found this new cardio. He was in shape. He just
Yeah.
thought he could, I can do this. And
Overwhelmed.
No. You still need to control yourself. You still need to control the tempo of the fight. You still need to control your breathing. You need to take a step back or control a top position. A couple deep breaths. Okay, let's get ready to go again. That's all it takes. But
Yeah.
there's a difference between being in shape, now you found it, to fight IQ. There's a big difference. You have to. But you can't have a good fight IQ if you're always tired.
And that's why
Because-
I said I was disappointed because I really expected Ryan to come out and really perform well, and I thought he was out of control.
Yeah.
Just was not fighting smart. Credit to Nikita Krylov. Even in the beginning, that triangle, it was not so much the setup of the triangle wasn't great. It was the body position of Ryan Spann was horrible because he's sitting back and bent, and it's like when you're in that position, you're screwed. But good win by Krylov. Back to the, training for Spann. But I still think he's got a lot of talent. I think he could be really good.
No, I agree. I do agree with you. I think he can still be good. He's just going to have to take some time. Look, these things don't happen overnight. He can't let this get to him either. He's ranked number 8. I don't know if he'll drop at all because Nikita is number 6. I mean, in this, he lost by triangle, which is not a good look, especially in the first round. He went too hard, too fast, and that's all. And it just backfired on him. Jonathan Martinez and Nurmagomedov.
Great fight.
Nurmagomedov, great fight. Fantastic
Great
fight. I felt like it was probably the best fight on the card. I mean, Sun
Yeah,
Tzu
definitely.
and Grant and Davey Grant was good. That was a good
Yep.
fight too.
Yep.
But back up to Martinez and Nurmagomedov. Fantastic fight. Both skill levels, everything. But do you agree with the decision, John? That's the question.
It's close. Look, there's no doubt that Said Nurmagomedov won the first round. So that one's there. And I don't think you can have real doubt about the third round going to Martinez, because that arm bar was tight. It was hyperextended. It was on, and so it was close, and that was a close finish. Didn't happen. Nurmagomedov's never going to tap. So third round goes to Martinez. So it really comes down to that second round, and it was close. It was close, and this is a decision, and all the judges went that way, so they saw it that way. Definitely not one of those people. When someone says robbery, bullshit. Not. Martinez fought his ass off.
It was not a robbery.
Nurmagomedov fought his ass off. It was a great fight. There were moments for both. I thought that Nurmagomedov probably won the second round.
I thought so too, but it wasn't a robbery.
No.
I get sick of people using a couple words in this sport. GOAT. Yeah. Okay, and robbery.
Robbery.
Yeah, I just don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that it was a robbery. No, it was a close fight between two fighters. Maybe the person you wanted to win
didn't get it.
Didn't win, and that's why it's a robbery. And maybe next time when your friend wins, okay, the one you wanted to win, the one you had $5 on.
All the other guys' friends will say he got robbed.
They got robbed. And so it's the same thing. Like this was a close fight. It was a great fight. Actually, I thought it was the best fight on the card. It was a great, fantastic fight. So I think Said, though, he looks like he carries so much muscle for he's tall. He's got a small waist. He reminds me a little bit of Marlon Moraes, the way not like Marlon's like thicker chested and stuff.
I was gonna say Marlon's
very slender. He is, but Marlon has like the V, broad shoulders, and then like the straight like just waistlines like waist. That big. Like he has the size of a dime.
Yeah.
Like he's got to be wearing like a size 24, 25.
He got a
size 24, 25 waistline, right? 50-cent piece.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, shit, man. But Martinez putting himself into that conversation now, into that top 10, top 12,
good.
top 13. He is good.
He's damn good.
But this is a really tough division to break into. John, look, pull up the rankings there, Dave.
Kidding? We say it all the time. Bantamweight.
We say this. The bantamweights right now across the sport of MMA, they're just taking over, man.
Yeah.
These guys are just fucking animals. I look at this UFC and I also look at the Bellator ones. They're not as, obviously the Bellator ones are not as deep. They don't have as many fighters on their roster. But man, I mean, I go all the way down to Umar Nurmagomedov. I'm going to skip over Ricky Simone, but then I'll go right over to Pedro Munoz
right here.
Yadong Song and
okay.
Go ahead.
Look,
Jack Shore.
Jack Shore's tough as hell.
Yeah, he is.
He's good. Chris Gutierrez, who was there tonight, that dude's freaking good.
Yep.
He's a stud. Got great hands. Adrian Yanez, that dude's good.
He's really good.
His stand
really good.
Fantastic. Umar Nurmagomedov, that dude's good.
Yeah.
You can't every one of these. Ricky Simone, that dude's good. He's got good wrestling. He's got a hell of a pace. Ricky.
He's all right. He's all right, John. He's all right. Go ahead.
But, when you're taking a look, you can match these fighters up and look and say, there's great fight. I would love to see Adrian Yanez against Rob Font. I think it'd be a great fight. And you can look, Rob Font's all the way at 6. Adrian Yanez is, 12.
That's the one that's scheduled next, right?
But is that scheduled next? That one?
I believe that's the fight.
No
Can you look that up, Dave?
Look at that. It's a matchmaker for the UFC.
Yanez and Rob Font.
I did not.
I think
know that.
Yeah. I think they're matched.
Yeah, the
Really?
UFC 287 April 8th. Yeah.
Hey, look at that. See, great fight.
Fucking, gotta get you a fucking job as a matchmaker.
Man, I need a job. But
the hardest part, Joe Silva used to tell me the hardest part was get the fucking fighters to agree to fight each other. I was like, wait, isn't that what we're in the sport for? It's like, you wouldn't believe the shit I got to go through, buddy.
Yeah.
That's, you know what, John? That is somebody that I would love to have on this show. And I know he's just MIA.
I don't know if I can try.
I would love to have him on.
I would tell him, hey, we'll talk about old stories and things that.
That's it. Yeah, I don't want to talk about any current stuff. I just want to talk about I want to hear his take, because I know I've sat with him for 2 hours one time in Houston. And he came to an autograph signing that I was doing there that they had set up for me. And he sat with me there for 2 hours while I was signing autographs, just telling me stories about, Rumina Sato, Sakurai, and he was a huge fan of them. And then on top of that, just
he was a huge fan of Shudo.
Yeah. No, it just was fucking crazy, man. It just like he was just talking about, he was a nerd. He was a geek when it came to that type of stuff, the grappling aspect of it all. He was a nerd. He loved it.
Yep.
But yeah, he's definitely someone I'd like to try to get on the show. Anyways, yeah, see if we can get that old guy to come out of his hobbit hole.
His hobbit in Virginia.
I know. Hey, bro, if I got paid when he got paid, I wouldn't want to talk to anybody either. I'd be like, leave me alone. You guys are my friends.
Dude, you know what?
As soon as you get that kind of money,
all he has
just
to say
disown everybody.
I'm past you.
Yes.
I'm past. You're done.
You are, buddy.
I don't need you anymore.
You are. He is past us.
All right,
next.
Mario Batista against Guido Canetti. I knew this was going to end this way fast. Let's be honest. Mario Batista out of the lab in Arizona. I actually texted John Crouch right after the fight, and I said, "Man, hey," because I was looking at John last night, and he was so bummed, hurt, because Benson's been his guy forever, and just to see Benson, go out that way, and I felt bad for him, and I didn't get to talk to him, and then so tonight I texted him, "Hey man, I know last night didn't go the way you wanted, and it bummed you out." I go, but congratulations for tonight, because I know that just made you feel real good. I love the smile on your face with the way that Mario Batista went and just did what he was supposed to do. Took Canetti serious especially as far as the kicks and the spinning attacks that he likes to bring, and right away brought it to the ground as much as he could. That was a beautiful suplex at the one point. Got the choke, got the win, looked dominant, and he's going to do well. And he's in the bantamweights too. That kid's strong. He is freaking jacked for a 135 pounder.
Yeah. He's going to be good. He's going to be good. Just give him some time. Let's slow play a little bit, because in that weight class, you got to be careful, man. One loss can set you all the way back, and there's too many people in front of you to have to try to get past again. So try to just keep working your way up.
Slow roll it for that one. I'm going to
skip over the next two fights, and I want to talk about Davey Grant and Rafael Sansao.
Okay.
Unless there's anything you want to say on the other two fights. I thought they were good, but it was...
I will say this about Vitor Petrino. Look, he showed heart, because I have seen him walk over people, and Anton gave him problems. Anton took some big shots, and this is the kind of fight that Vitor really needed, because not everybody's going to go away when you hit him. And that's what Anton showed in that, but he hung in there. That was a tough fight. He fought his ass off, so that was impressive. Carl Williams, for a dude who freaking started training in his 20s, man, the dude can wrestle. And at heavyweight, we talk about, hey, you got to be able to wrestle. Huh?
Yeah, because in the heavyweight division, if you can wrestle, you can automatically write your ticket up to the top 3, top 5.
That's right.
You can wrestle it all. If you have a decent amount of wrestling, you can write your ticket all the way up into the top 5.
Yep.
In the heavyweight division.
Sansao
and Davey Grant. No, I want to hear your take on this, because let's talk about the fence grab. Let's talk about the resetting. And let's talk about the restand, all that stuff.
Okay.
If you grab the fence on the takedown, and for some reason you end up on top because I'm trying to force it, they should still start them on the bottom, on the ground, with the guy that should have been taken down.
You can't start them in a position they weren't.
Well, John, it never got to there because you fucking grabbed the fence.
Okay.
Motherfucker. When you're tired, there is nothing more frustrating when this son of a bitch grabs the fence.
Moro, you don't have to yell at me anymore.
So mad. That shit pisses me off more than anything. When you're tired and you're trying to take someone down, they grab the fucking fence, and you're and then they end up on top. You're like, yeah, of course you end up on top.
Yeah. I understand, but you got to be honest, because there's many times I would love to say, I want to put you in this position. Can't do it, because then they're going to be able to go and say, we were never in that position. I was never in that position, and you put me in a position that I wasn't in the fight, and that's why I ended up losing.
Because you grabbed the fence. That's why you were never in that position, you cheater.
So let me ask you this. Was he punished? Yes. Okay, that was the point deduction. Now, here, and sometimes it's going to work for you, and sometimes it's going to work against you. But you have to have a pat rule on, hey, if you are in the dominant position, I will put you back in that position. If your opponent who does the foul is in that dominant position, I'm not going to give them that dominant position. I'm going to put it to a what we call static position, meaning it's in the stand-up. You have free movement. He has free movement. That's what Keith Peterson did. He looked and said, look, Davey Grant was in the top position. I'm not going to put him back being in the top, more dominant position. I'm not going to, although now if you look at it, and this is what happens.
Yeah.
Now.
Hindsight's 50-50.
Hindsight's 50-50. And you go, well, now that we know that Sun Tzu got knocked out, got submitted from it, after being hurt. Well, it wasn't fair. No, it was, because it's the only thing he can do within the limited scope of what he has. Look, I saw a foul. I take away that point, and I see that Davey Grant is in the dominant position. I'm not going to put these guys back in the same position. If Rafael Assunção was in that top position, he would have put him back in that same position. That's just the way it is. And, sometimes, like I said, sometimes it's not going to work for you. And in this one, it didn't work, but it's not that it didn't work based upon, he was hurt still from, he got hit with multiple shots that, definitely stung him.
Yeah, I know, but John,
you are looking at it the same way as every 39 and above age guy does. That's bullshit, man.
No, it's just what it is that when you scoop for the takedown or you try to pull someone off the fence and they grab the fence, you try harder, which sometimes will put yourself out of position and makes it easier for the person to
it can pull you out of balance because you're expecting to be able, through years of doing this, I pick you up. I know when my hips are in a certain area, I know where you're going to go. Mm-hmm. I know where your weight's going to flow, and I'm going to be able to take it in the direction that I want. And then all of a sudden, that weight is not flowing in that direction because there's something keeping it from happening, which is the grab, and that can put me off balance. You're absolutely right.
And so when I try a little bit harder,
I cannot put you in a position that you were not. It's as simple as it gets.
But what I'm saying is, when I
come up with a better way,
and I'm just want you to hear me out, okay?
I'm listening.
It's like I feel like there needs to be an adjustment to this rule set. I know. I can see you messing around with your headset.
Because I'm listening. That's why, man. I'm listening.
I know. It's because you're really, like, fighters are really they're going to try even harder and leave themselves out of position, potentially lose their balance even more. And also the other fighter is using the fence to manipulate their weight and where they land, how they fall on top of you versus underneath you. They're using a crutch, whereas we're not. Like, the person who is really trying to get the takedowns not allowed to, or is not using and not cheating. If the fighter is trying to get that takedown, I feel like if obviously that's where I wanted the fight to go, that's where the fight should have been put. If you want to penalize that fighter for illegally grabbing the fence, that's the way to do it. I don't know. It's annoying because
you're creating something that was never in the fight. That's where that's where you
never got there because you got cheated. Why can't you get that?
I get it, dude.
Head?
Trust me. So
it didn't get there because you cheated.
This will work for you in some positions, and in other ones, you're going to be really pissed with your new rule.
Yeah. Motherfucker. I love you, John. I love you.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, and I feel bad because that's Sun Tzu's last fight. Decided to retire after that, and it's frustrating because he was up 2-0. He was up.
Yeah, no doubt.
And so
he was losing. He was definitely losing the last round, but he was definitely up in the fight. Yeah.
Well, he could have probably won had he not How do you got the
If
takedown?
there wasn't
That's
a
the
fence
problem.
grab, huh? So it all came
there
down
wasn't.
to that one fence grab.
It does. That can break your mental.
Now it's going to break your. Now it's breaking
your mental because
mentality
you're
and
cheating.
your will.
Because it's hard
You're
to
being
fight.
cheated again.
It's hard to fight your
He's a
opponent and then
cheater.
fight a cheater. It's hard to fight. It's already hard enough to fight another person who is skilled. Now we're going to allow them to cheat and make it even more hard, more difficult. All right, John, is there any other fights on this card you want to talk about?
Yeah, I want to give it up for Josh Frem. He went in there against a guy undefeated, had a lot of hype behind him, and he got that win in the UFC. That, you know what, he's had some hard fights. That was very nice to see him actually have a really good night. So good for him in that one. I want to also say that Victor Henry looked great against Gravely. I thought Gravely looked good. He was fighting hard, and he was in that fight the whole time. But I thought, overall, I thought Victor won that, and I thought it was a really good performance.
Bruno Silva. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Bro, you are fast. This guy.
Yeah.
I was like, man, Tyson Nam looks so big at flyweight. He looks huge.
Yeah.
And he wasn't fast enough.
No.
In the flyweight division, I don't think being bigger is better.
I don't either.
Look at guys like Mighty Mouse and Henry. They're not big guys. And for them, there was the speed they had, their technique. They're obviously technicians, both of them, Mighty Mouse and Henry. But Bruno Silva, man, he's got power for such a small body frame, and he is fast as hell.
Fast as hell, yeah.
That snap kick up the middle that sat Nam to his back and was looking up at the lights, and jeez, I was like, holy shit.
I was driving home from the airport watching that on my phone. I went, holy shit.
Jesus, it was nasty. It was nasty. I felt bad for Nam, actually. I got push kicked one time in the face at the gym, and that's why my nose looks the way it looks now. I was so mad. I was so mad. So I remembered what that felt like, so I started running around push kicking all the kickboxers in the face after that, because I was like, you fuckers, All right, well, that's going to wrap up our UFC talk. Let's run into Bellator, but before we get started with Bellator, go to onlyfans.com/weighing in. Look, we have started a program with them for us to start having a lot. OF. We're gonna have more content over there. We've already had some fan questions. Submit your fan questions, available only on OnlyFans. And so we are only going to be talking with our subscribers over there. It's free, guys. They've started a sports division for us.
Just
we
like
are
this
the first
is free. That's free.
Yes, that's free too. We're the first podcast that they've ever worked with, ever sponsored, ever done a partnership with. We're here to bring in the sporting
people
OnlyFans.
like you guys.
OnlyFans.com/weighing
People that love fighting.
They're working with Michael Venom Page, Chris Cyborg, Charles Oliveira, Brent Primus, MVP. They've got all these fighters.
Ruiz,
they're working,
AJ McKee.
Andy Ruiz, AJ McKee. They're sponsoring bare knuckle boxing, which I got to be honest, man. The entire event. That's a big deal. That's a really big deal. They work with Formula One Racing. They are really trying to make that change into making sure they're attracting more athletes. Luke Rockhold, I think, has been with them for the last year or so. He's just about to re-up, or he has just re-upped. I mean, there's a lot of top-level talent that is going to start going over there, start giving out. You guys could charge for techniques if you want to show techniques. Musicians, actors, actresses, what's it called? Comedians is what I meant to say, not actors and actresses. Comedians, they sell their bits on here as well, so you can find a ton of comedians that are on here and available on here. So check it out, but go to ours at onlyfans.com/weighing in. Subscribe there. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Let's go Bellator 292 in San Jose at the SAP. Is a home event for me. It's a home game, baby.
Home game. Like you've never done that before.
So stressful, man. It's horrible.
17 years from the day that Strikeforce first had an event in the San Jose. I think it was the HP Pavilion back then. But
it was
17 years later. You were in that. Do you realize you were the very first championship fight in the state of California?
Yes, I was. Was I?
Yeah,
I was.
No other championship fights on that damn thing.
Unfortunately, I lost it.
Shamrock. I didn't even go there. You see, I wasn't doing that.
Not the way you want to be remembered in the record books.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's talk about Bellator and the champion Usman Nurmagomedov, now 17-0, taking on Benson Henderson. Like Benson came into this fight, he had a lot of confidence. He thought that his experience, that he could exploit certain things that Usman does. He knew that Usman kicked a lot. He knew he had good kicks and he had to do things off of those kicks. We talked about it with him. He just never saw the question mark kick. Never saw it.
John, like I said in the broadcast, I've been watching Usman spar like for the last 3 weeks. And I'll come in, twice a week. Just kind of watch his sparring, say hi to some of the guys, and then bounce out. And I've seen him land that kick in the gym several times against guys that know it. They know it's coming. And then on top of that, the way he hides his kicks, how fast he gets them up there. And a lot of the times, with that Taekwondo / like karate style or whatever it is in terms of their kicking, it doesn't look like it's going to hit hard. It doesn't have to though when you kick to the head. It's just barely got to graze your chin. This landed cleanly on Benson, but it doesn't have. People think that you have to load up that kick if you're going to kick to the head. No, the faster it gets there, the less you telegraph it, the more likely it's going to land. It's going to put you down on your ass, and that's exactly what happened. He made it look so fluid, and if you notice in that fight, seconds before, yep. He fell off of it, yeah. I don't think he expected it to land that clean. But what I noticed is right before that, he kicked the leg and then he kicked the body. So he worked his way up. He went inside leg kick. It wasn't that hard. Then he went right to the body kick. That was kind of hard. It landed kind of clean. And then he went right from there to the headshot, to the question mark.
That's why Benson's hand went down towards that body where he thought that kick was going.
I don't want to take anything away from Usman's performance, but really it comes down to you're losing a legend in the sport. Benson Henderson's been around for a long time. He's been in that arena several times. He's defended his UFC title in that arena a couple times. Like he is a fantastic person. Like in terms of role models, like he's an amazing person and a perfect role model for our youth to be looking up to in terms of being an athlete. He's a family man. He's got 4 kids, 3 boys and a girl. Just his wife is now fighting. His wife is a twin, I believe, and then even Benson's a twin, I believe. Is he a twin or does his brother just look exactly like him?
Well, I don't know if he's a twin.
His brother looks fucking just like him.
It looks like him, yeah.
Yeah,
but
okay.
Not exactly.
So at least his brother's a little bit thicker, but his brother also doesn't, I don't think, train as much as Benson does. So, but just he's very supportive of his wife. He's obviously loves his kids, and every time I see him, he's always got the kids crawling all over him and this and that. It's like, I saw him seconds before he walked out. He was just about to walk out up onto the stage, and he was getting ready at the loading area there at the ramp, and some kids had walked past that were kind of watching there on the side, and he walked away from what he was doing to give high fives to the kids and say hi, what's up, and
that's
I
Benson.
think that's Benson, man. So when people are like, oh man, how do you guys get along? You fought him, he beat you. And I'm like, all this shit, this fight career stuff.
Competition.
It's not even that, John. No one gives a shit when you're done and retired. Like, no one's going to care. In 10 years, no one gives a shit.
No.
Like, you look at Mike Tyson, right? Like, remember when they did that interview of him with all his belts on the pool table? He's like, this shit's garbage.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't even bring this shit up in conversation anymore. It doesn't even talk about it. The only reason why I know I still have my belt, it's behind me. That's the only reason why. I look at it when we do our podcast. Otherwise, that thing don't even cross my mind.
Good thing to look at. Come on.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't even cross my mind. It's a fucking paperweight. That's a very heavy one, by the way. But he's got a lot of them, this guy, and so he's just so humble, such a great guy. And what I loved, too, was just the mutual respect between the two of them, because Usman's extremely respectful. Benson, extremely respectful. And we interviewed a couple of the other guys that trained with Usman. Is that they said, oh, we've always made sure that we respect our elders, and they're referring to me at the gym.
They were talking about me too. So.
Yeah,
you're older than me.
You're older than me. Got to respect my elders. And it's so funny because I listen to them now, and they say they call me like, oh, you're like my father. You're old like my father. And now they call Habib old like their fathers, because now they're all younger now. The new generation of guys are coming up. But it's a sad day to see him go. But
it's a good
day. He's one of those guys. He's got a good chat. I see he's part owner of the lab, I believe. Yes. Correct?
Yeah.
He's part owner of the lab. all the people that work out with him say he's just like, he's the
They
leader
love
of the
him.
pack. He's the one that runs more. He's the one that trains more. He's the one always giving great advice while he's trying to train himself.
Yeah.
I mean, that's phenomenal. Like, how many people give that much effort to other people? It's very rare you find that in the fight game, John. I'll be honest. I've been in the sport for, 30 years, 25 years now. It's very rare. And all I hear from people that he trains with is, man, he's there every day. He's there committed. He's there just helping. Doesn't matter. Even if he doesn't have a fight, he's there. He's there. I'm like, yeah, his life is this. This is what he wants to do. His family, his wife, his kids, they're all trained. Everyone, it's like he's dedicated. So I wish him nothing but the best in the next chapter of his life. And with Usman, he's just getting started. He's just getting started.
24 years old and that good.
Mm-hmm.
That's scary. Because, man, there are areas that he can get better at, but there's areas right now you give anybody trouble with. His stand-up is clean. His wrestling is damn good. Submission-wise, he could get better with some of his submissions. He could get better at his submission defense. He could get better at, possibly, getting himself up off the, ground if someone takes him down, is able to, because they have really good wrestling. But, Josh, at 24...
Yeah.
Take a look at that package, man. That dude can fight, and he's
John,
got
John,
physical
what are we talking
attributes.
What are we talking about? You said take a look at his package. What are we talking
Take
about?
a look at the package, the entire package. I don't know.
Earlier in the show we were talking about
buttholes
bleaching your
earlier. Now
anus.
you're talking about that. Jesus Christ, man.
And John starts
This
talking about packages. I'm like, what's going on here, buddy? All right, go ahead.
I mean, it's amazing. I look at him and his brother. His brother's 27. He now has less fights. So I was talking to Umar in the cage afterwards, and I said, he's all happy. And he's coming up to me, and I said, hey, how you feeling, man? And he goes, good. I said, you're behind now. He's got 17 wins. You're at 16, right? And he goes, oh.
They're so funny, man.
They're great, but
They don't want anything else but the best for the other, which is awesome.
yeah. And I love when Usman, in interviewing him, I said, well, which guy would you? I don't care. He goes, I don't pick my opponents. Just bring them all. And you look and you go,
Yeah.
hey, that's the kind of champion you want, man. I don't want a champion that's ducking somebody. I don't want a champion that's saying, oh no, he doesn't deserve it because he knows that style's harder for him. I love the fact, man, I'll fight anybody, because anybody's going to fight the next guy in Chablis. You got a fight on your hands. And we know that.
But he's not fighting Chablis next. He's not fighting Chablis
No.
next.
No, he would be fighting the winner of Primus versus Barnawi.
Barnawi. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We're going to see how that all shakes out in Paris, huh?
Yeah.
It's going to be a good one. The next lightweight World Grand Prix fight, 5-round fight.
Here's the one we got to talk about.
I had really high expectations for this fight.
Yeah.
It didn't live up to what I wanted, but man, when they threw with power and
Boy,
heat
they
and
through hard.
speed and everything.
My
They
God.
didn't throw as much as I wanted them to, because I
threw
knew
with
that they
a
were so good.
Violent intent.
Oh, it was
Man.
nasty. I was like,
And that's one of the things. You don't get that same perception when you're watching on TV. When you're ringside and you can hear the things and you're there, it is, these guys are throwing so hard, and you go, God damn, amazing at times. But Tofik Mosaev against Alexander Chablis, we thought it was going to be a striking battle. It really was. There really wasn't any ground at all, but it's really all, this fight is about the ending. I thought Chablis was ahead, winning as far as, I gave them both one round, but Chablis could have won both of the first and second rounds, and he was winning the third. But when you look at the ending of this, it caused a lot of confusion. There was a lot of problems with people not understanding what's going on and the way you have to, if you're the official, what you have to kind of look at, deal with. A lot of things going on. So,
how much did the tournament change how the outcome was?
not at all.
None. Okay.
None.
Because honestly, there's talk that he had broke some ribs.
Oh, he broke his ribs.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like he got hit with the knee earlier that had fractured it, or said there was a lot of pain, and then that push kick really did the deal and broke the ribs.
Yep.
So I mean, it wouldn't have mattered anyways. I mean, he probably wouldn't have been able to continue on into the tournament. I mean, there's no.
Yeah, he would have.
It would taken really.
Yeah, he probably would.
Ribs are nasty, man.
Yeah, they are. That
You would
sucks,
know.
but
You would know.
I think I would.
You would
Broken
know.
a couple
6
at a time.
Fucking
But-
those trees, man. They can do it. They can do a number on you.
But if you look at this ending and what happened when you saw the kick, and this is what people have to understand at times, as the referee, you've got to deal with all kinds of situations. You got to pre-think things, how things are. One of the things you got to think about with groin shots, all kinds of groin shots, but the problem is people get this perception that a groin shot is the same in MMA as it is in boxing. It's not. Okay? And we say this all the time when we're teaching people or doing something. Look, in boxing, it has nothing to do with the groin. It has to do with the belt line. You cannot hit below the belt line. And that normally is from the navel down is what they're going to say. If your shorts are above the navel, they'll let you hit on the belt line as far as that, but they're going to say exactly where you can hit. Doesn't matter if you hit them in the thigh, hit them in the hip, you're below that belt line, it's an illegal blow. It's a low blow. That's what they call it. In MMA, you don't have that because we knee, we kick, we elbow, we punch areas all around the hip area, the thighs, and the abdomen, and it is a groin strike that is illegal. Okay, so when you take a look at the groin strike, Josh, what kind of cup did you wear when you
Steel
fought?
cup.
Steel cup. Why?
So protecting my dick.
Okay. Well, you could have wore a plastic one.
No,
right? A lot of guys
no.
do. They go to Dick's
They're
Sporting
idiots.
Goods.
They're
Okay, I'm
idiots.
not saying they're not, but they go to Dick's Sporting Goods and they get the whatever size they're getting of plastic, and what happens to it?
Breaks.
Right? It breaks, and I've seen them folded in.
yeah.
It's like those are meant for a baseball game with a ball that slides off of hits the ground or something like that. And if you're gonna wear something, you should wear a steel cup, or now the diamond is a pretty good one. It's really hard and stuff, but there are ones out there. But when you get hit, it's how you get hit that is going to determine how bad the groin shot is, because you get hit to the sides and the cup moves, hits one side. When you get hit up, it's horrible. The whole cup smashes into your nuts and it sucks. But what happened with that was the kick landed cleanly. It was a beautifully placed kick by Shabli on Masayev that hit him right in the sternum. And that kick, when he hit, his foot came down and it touched the groin area. It did. But which direction was it going?
Down.
Okay. So now if I put a cup on you and I hit the cup down, what's it going to do to you?
I mean, when you wear a steel cup, it doesn't really do much.
It's not going to do anything.
That's why I never understood why these guys take 5 minutes. Like, if
Well-
you're wearing a steel cup, it doesn't always.
That's because some of them need time because they're tired. Look at this is just the way it is. But when we talk about getting hit to the groin, going down, look, it doesn't hurt you. Let's just be honest. It doesn't. If someone's going to say, I'm going to hit you to the left, I'm going to hit you to the right, I'm going to hit you up, I'm going to hit you down. We're going down because it's not going to hurt me.
Yeah.
So in that situation, Jason should have saw how it hit, that it didn't have any power on it coming down. It was just a retraction of the leg. So there was, the weight of the foot. And where did the blow land? And is it the blow that had the effect, or is it the touching of the groin that had the effect? And in that situation, really where Jason was stuck was he's got a guy that doesn't speak English. He's got Tofik, who speaks very little English, and he's got a corner. He should have been just fights over. I saw the foot touch you. It's the kick. That's why you turned. That's why you put your hand up. And I saw how it hit you, and you've got a problem. I can see it. Okay. Not that because what you're doing by stopping the fight, on a legal kick, as far as the one that actually did the damage, are you cheating Alexander Shabley now? Yeah.
Are you talking about the ref cheating Alexander Shabley?
Well, you're not being fair, because did he land a clean? No. Did he land a kick that caused the damage of what's wrong?
I'm
going to
take Herzog's side on this a little bit.
It's okay. You can. I like it, because trust me.
Everything takes everything.
Absolutely.
Everything happens so
Absolutely.
fast.
And that's why Jason tried to slow it down, because when you're not sure, I don't want to make the mistake. And that's why you had what you had. But in the end, the most important thing is the right call was made.
Yeah.
Jason called it the right way, saying it was a fair blow. The touching of the groin was incidental to it. It did not have the effect. It is a TKO victory for Alexander Shabley. That was the exact right call, and I give Jason credit for getting that right. It's not easy.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm a big fan of Jason Herzog, man. I think he's probably one or two in the best in the
Absolutely.
game right now.
One of the best there is, if not the best.
Yeah. Now that he's
And that's
down
because
his feet.
Settled him down a little bit. Yep.
That guy used to fucking bounce around the cage
too
when I
much.
was in there. I was like, bro, I feel like I'm fighting two people.
I've already told the stories of, when first I said, you gotta stop doing what you're doing. Oh, I gotta do it. Okay.
Especially when he was new, it was like, fuck.
Oh my
He'd be
God.
running around over here, and I'm like trying to focus on this guy. And you just see this out of the peripheral. You're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. And
It was the Chris Tucker thing.
It's so fun. Oh yeah. Which one do you hit?
Like, which one of y'all motherfuckers hit me?
Yeah.
That's a good comedy stand-up bit, Josh, if you ever do comedy.
Oh, man. This is like, yeah. All right. Next fight.
Lynn Vassell against Valentin Moldavsky. Lynn Vassell saying that, you know what, the first fight was because of he put on too much weight. He got exhausted. He couldn't get up because he was tired. And that, you know what, if he was given a second chance, it would be a different fight. God damn it, Josh. He wasn't lying. It was a different fight.
Mm-hmm. You know, you and I had talked about this off camera and like just between us, and we're like, you know, we weren't sure. I mean, both of us going into San Jose and into the arena, talking throughout the end of fight week, we were like, both of us were leaning towards Moldavsky. But then after I talked with Linton, and then we had the fighter meetings, and then I just caught up with him a little bit more after that too, throughout the day. Saw him at some. He just walked with that sense of, I feel good. My weight feels good. He's got happy. 4 wins now in a row. He's happy. 3 of those 4 wins were first round finishes. Like, he's good. You know, he knows he feels comfortable where he's at. He finally figured out what heavyweight is like. You know, like, hey, I found my weight. I feel comfortable training at. That makes such a big deal. And I started playing all this in my mind. Like, Cain Velasquez would talk about, I fought at 244. He's like, I don't like it. He wanted to be around between 235 to 238. 245 was too much. And then the same thing with DC. DC, you knew when he was ready. He'd come in around 236, 237. And as he got older, and it's like 245, 240, 250. You're like,
too much. Okay,
dude, like too much. Just too much weight to carry in a 5-round fight because you're fighting for titles or you're fighting for championships, whatever it is. And he's found his weight. You know, and the thing with him is if he's just so good with his top pressure. If he can get you down, if he can hurt you, if he can get to that top game, he's got good submissions from the top. He's not bad off of his back. He's got good sweeps. I remember I said last week, I think he's got a really good hook sweep.
He was very surprised. He was very surprised he didn't get that hook sweep.
Well, that's because Moldavsky's like a little butterbean. It's like he's good off of his feet. He's very
he flows.
He's reactive.
Flows well.
Yeah, he flows really well. And as you go to hook sweep, he'll go ahead and just like bounce back off of it, and then kind of put his feet on the ground and kind of just back away from there. He's good at scrambling. He's that hybrid type heavyweight. He came in at 238. It was the shot that hurt him, put him to his butt.
But all of that hook sweep that Linton was doing when Moldavsky got him down, it kept Moldavsky from doing any offense.
Yeah.
Wasn't able to land one shot.
I've tried to make it very clear to like a lot of the younger talent that I coach for jiu-jitsu is that when I'm training with them, right? I watch them train with other people and they're like passing guard, they're jumping arm bar, they're jumping triangle, like they're doing all this, right? But as soon as they train with me, they're all defensive. And I'm like, and just it's like I have to tell them, hey, your best defense is offense. If you're
Creating
mounting an
problems
offense,
for your opponent.
yes, because now they can't mount their offense.
Yeah.
So if I'm constantly making you think or making you work or having like you don't have time
react
to punch me. You don't have time to try to kick me. Yeah. I'm getting mine off and you're worried about defending. So you've got to be the more active person in terms of offense. Keep me busy. And that's exactly what Lynn did, man. Worked on the hook sweep, couldn't get it, but then got back up and then was able to land the shot, sat him to his ass, boom, he went to fetal 4. And then yeah, the rest is history, man. Well, he got them right into the mount position and just elbows and nasty. He's just so big. His body frame is enormous, man.
Yeah.
So, all right.
That was a big win for him, though, and that puts him in position.
Good.
He's gonna get a rematch with Bader, which he says he wants, and so we'll see if he can change things up from what happened as a light heavyweight to what's going to happen as a heavyweight.
Mm-hmm. We will see. Next,
and his grandma Pearl is very happy with him. Linton got up.
When he got up, Linton got up. Yeah, that's great.
All right, then we had Michael Venom Page taking on Goichi Yamauchi. Man, I'll tell you what. Now that's the second one. That's the second one I had not seen. Never saw someone's patella tendon ruptured like that by a kick. Amazing. I've never seen that happen. You know,
I felt
Michael
bad for
Venom.
That's a nasty injury.
That's a horrible injury.
I felt that's a
horrible injury. I had a friend who ruptured his patella tendon, and his knee did that exact thing. That's how I knew it. When I looked at it, I was like, I think he ruptured his patella tendon. Right, and then I went to the ringside physician afterwards, and I said, "Hey, did he rupture it?" He goes, "I don't know." He goes, "But it kind of looks that way." I said, "That's his kneecap up there." Right? He goes, "Yeah," and nasty injury.
One of my fights, I fought one of Maurice Smith's young guys. One of my very first fights. I think it was my second or third fight, and we were in Portland, and I fought up there. And we kicked at the same time, and his shin bone hit right across my kneecap, and it broke my kneecap in half. I have 2 screws that go through my kneecap now and some wire to keep it all clamped together. They did a bone graft in the middle to keep it closed. But it's nasty, man. It's nasty. It was one of the most painful fucking injuries. I ended up winning the fight, but had I not finished the submission right there on the spot, because we hit, and then I jumped the triangle real quick and finished the triangle real quick, and had I not finished, I don't know because even after I got done with the triangle, I went to stand up, I couldn't put any weight on it. None. Yeah. But it was horrible. It was so painful. But regardless, when he got kicked, I saw him fall back. You could see how his knee got disfigured for a split second. And I was like, oh. I almost threw up in my mouth. So gross.
Yeah.
So gross.
Saw it right away. All of a sudden you saw his kneecap shoot up into his, above where it's supposed to be into his quad area.
His quad.
Like, yeah. I was like, oh.
Well, John, like you were there for my fight with Benson when I talk about my thumb going up into my wrist, and John looks down, and I'm down there trying to fight, and I'm like, why can't I fucking fight his hands?
I can't grab
look down on my thumb. My thumb, the bone part of it right here,
it was
like shoved all the way up. Yeah, it was sticking all the way up in here into my wrist, and my skin
I was okay because
like
it was you. I was fine with it. I had no problem at all.
I know.
I did walk back with you. I told Bob Cook, I said, "You want to check his hand?" And you're I think my thumb's broken.
Yeah,
oh no, I don't think.
Sure.
I don't think it's broken. I know it's broken.
Oh, it was gross. But great performance by Michael Venom. I want people to start giving this guy credit, man. It drives me crazy. He's so good. He's so fast. He's elusive, and was like, oh well, like he hasn't beaten anybody. I'm like, he's beaten everybody.
Yeah,
beating everybody. And he's got a couple losses on his record, but he's lost to dominant wrestlers like Logan Storley.
Yep.
I mean, guys
that
like
was close.
that can
there was a lot of people
who
thought he won that fight. So,
yeah, I didn't think he won, but
I didn't either. I thought Logan won it, but you take a look. He had the one loss against Douglas Lima that he was starting to win that fight, and he hurt Lima, and Lima throws the leg kick. It catches him coming in. It takes his leg out, and it was the way he got up. Lima caught him, and it was a shot he never saw. Happens. It was good. The thing that I love about Michael Page is, Josh, he's a student of the game. You want to sit there and talk X's and O's and talk about fight IQ and all these things? That's a guy you can talk to. He knows. He's smart. We talk about, hey, in this approach, you want to do this, and he's going, oh yeah, because look at this. When he was watching Yaroslav Amosov against Logan Storley, he was just sitting there and he's in awe, and he goes, this is a master class. Look at what he's doing. This is fantastic, and he's breaking down what he thinks he can do to stop what Amosov is doing. And I'm like, man, if you can figure out a way to stop that dude, you're somebody, because, let's be honest. But Page is a phenomenal athlete. I think that the showboating that he does at times with some people turns them to the point where they want to see him lose, or they don't think that he works hard to be as good as he is. He works his ass off. He's only that good for a reason, because he works his ass off. So
I haven't seen anybody that can do what he can do inside the cage with the style he has. I know that Lyoto Machida was very good. Wonder Boy, Raymond Daniels. Raymond Daniels, he's good in the kickboxing department. MMA, not anywhere near. No. But I look at Stephen Thompson would be the next best thing. Yeah. And seeing those two guys would be amazing. To watch those guys fight. Yeah.
We've said how many times, if we could just take and do a cross, I would take Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and Michael Venom Page, and I think it'd be great.
And now for the next fight, John, to me this was the fight of the night.
Oh, it's a great
fight. Enrique Barzola and Eric Perez. What a fight! Holy shit! Barzola, it took him a little second to figure out the speed and the size, because this fight's at 45. Barzola normally fights at 35. And so this was a good challenge for him to step up against Eric Perez, fight at 145. Didn't have to cut the weight. He looked good. I thought Barzola looked fantastic at the weight class. Well, I don't know if he'll stay here, but
what he looked good in was his ability to not only to dictate when the engagements happened at times, but also when you saw Perez trying to respond, the counters that he hit him with. Dude, he was landing clean shots and not being hit at times.
Yeah.
And it was really impressive. The first round was close.
Yeah, it was. I had him actually losing the first round.
Then he walked away with it.
Nope, I agree. The thing that Eric Perez was doing really well was kicking that inside leg. So every time that Barzola would get ready to land something clean, he'd kick that inside leg, and that made it look more dramatic than it was. Yeah. But even when he did kick the leg, he was getting hit with some clean shots. Perez he's got a fucking beard on him, man.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a beard. I was like, holy shit. Any other fights on here you want to talk about?
Yeah, I want to give Dovlet Yakshimuradov a lot of credit. You talk about he looked really good. Looked like when I first saw him at ACB, a guy that had confidence, a guy that would go in there. His stand-up has gotten better. He's still winging that right hand over the top too much. But he looked really good, and he used his footwork to create the angles that he needed to. And he took a bigger guy in Anglickis and just he dominated the action for the most part. Really nice fight. Laird Anderson put on a very nice performance. Luna's young in his career, but we saw how tough he was in his first fight. And Laird Anderson went out, stood with him, landed some good shots, and when given the right opportunity, took the fight to the ground and dominated from that point on to the rear naked choke. So really nice job there by him too.
Good stuff, man. Theo Haig, I trained with him too. Him and Laird both. We said on the broadcast, I used to train Laird Anderson when he was like 8 years old.
Yeah.
And then
I used to work out with his dad.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is.
I was supposed to fight his dad in Boise before he went on to the UFC and fought in the UFC. So him and I was supposed to fight Jens Pulver and his dad. So in Boise, Boise used to have these fights at the fairgrounds. I can't remember, but that's how I met Mike Kyle. And that's how Mike Kyle ended up coming down and training with us at AKA. A lot of history, man. A lot of history in that Northwest area there. You got Dennis Holman, Benji Raddick. I mean,
oh my God, yeah.
God,
there was a lot of good.
Yeah.
Dennis Holman was a really good grappler at one time, man.
He was really good.
He had 2 wins against Matt Hughes, man.
Both fights together were under 3 minutes, right?
Oh yeah,
he armbarred him both times, like in a minute 20, whatever it was.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a stud, man. He was a stud. remember grappling. Him and I didn't like each other for a long time. We finally made amends, and then we started doing some grappling together. Him and Guy Metzger, Dan Henderson, we were up in Idaho in Coeur d'Alene for one of the fights there with Trevor that Trevor was putting on. Josh Koscheck was supposed to fight, so we all got together and started training and stuff like that, doing some grappling. And man, Dennis was fucking good. He was good.
He was.
All right,
All
next,
right.
what do you got for us, Dave?
All right, let's talk about a couple of, one fight announcement and one other piece. But this first fight, big time fight. I'd love to get your thoughts on the actual fight. And then obviously Oliveira not getting any type of immediate rematch here. So let me get your thoughts on that.
I don't think he deserves the immediate rematch any more than anybody else does. And that Dariush, on a win streak that he's had, he kind of deserves the championship fight. So it's kind of both of them together. I think Dariush is a problem for a lot of people, just the way he fights, the awkwardness. Obviously, Oliveira, fantastic. And, we saw that he was dominant until, his one fight with Islam. Either guy could win this fight. And I think it's fair that, since they had Islam fight Volkanovski, that this is, basically, your number 1 and number 4. But, Dariush should be above number 4. They kept dropping him down when he was winning. It's crazy.
No,
Dariush deserves this. He
total
deserves a shot at the
disrespect.
title. Yeah, it really is. It's really bad. Because if you look at a guy that has not lost in, multiple fights here,
Just
and
9
he's
fights.
dropping. He's dropping.
9 fights.
Gaethje's lost how many times now? He's still ahead of him.
So crazy.
Poirier got his win against Chandler, and so he's back with that. But still, Dariush is on a streak, and he was getting dropped in the rankings when he was still winning. Look at that. 1, 2,
8
3.
fights.
8-fight win streak.
8 fights.
It's that, we were talking with Islam. Yeah, you got to win 10 fights. He says that's the magic number. That's the UFC's number where they go, okay, we got to give you a title fight.
Yeah. I mean, when we talked to Islam this week, we saw him at the fights, and he just said he expects Dariush to win the fight. He thinks that Dariush is going to be the one that kind of is able to push him. He's like, both guys could win, obviously, but he thinks Dariush is going to win that fight.
I think he's going to cause some
the
problems.
style that he brings, he's going to cause some problems. He's got good submissions. He's got good takedown defense. He's got good takedowns himself. And he's wild on the feet. He strikes.
Yeah,
And so
from odd angles.
Yes. Yeah. He'll take the fight anywhere. He'll give up positions to just do something wild. He'll do a Granby roll, like when you're kind of hooked up on his back against the fence, and he'll just try to roll you through, pick the ankle, whatever it is. He'll take it anywhere, man. He's a good fight. He's a great fighter. So I'm looking forward to seeing this fight. When is that fight? May? April?
Yeah, it's actually in
May 6th.
New Jersey, and it's May 6th, yeah.
God, it's in Jersey, huh? Interesting. We have to go out there. All right, next.
All right, let's wrap up on this one here. Nick Diaz wants a fight at 85. He says not John Jones.
John Jones, though. Thank God.
But he is interested in those two schmucks, Izzy and Alex Pereira.
Schmucks. And it was. Is
Dave,
that your
did you add that?
Is that your interpretation of him as schmucks?
Yeah, it is. It is. It is.
It's
Dave.
just funny the way he says it. He's like something like that Izzy guy, that Alex guy. It's just funny the way he said it.
He ain't gonna get that. Let's just be honest. I love Nick. He's a great person, but he's had one fight in 6 years.
6 years. Yeah.
And you're gonna, I want Israel or I want, Alex. I'm sure you do, but you're not gonna get him. They're not gonna do that. Not gonna happen, dude.
I wonder. Pull up the 185-pound division.
Josh trying to give him a top 15.
He's Josh trying to be a matchmaker now.
Yeah,
trying to
give
figure
him a top
something out
15.
for him.
Him and Kevin Gastelum would be a good fight.
He doesn't want Kevin Gastelum.
I get it.
Izzy or fucking the champ.
Bro, I'm looking at this right here, man. There's no one in that top 15 that I would want to give him. I mean, him and Sean Strickland would be headlines. Just the
Oh my God, that
conversations
would be
in the
fun.
press conference would be fucking
That'd be
hilarious.
awesome. That'd be great.
That would be so great. Can you imagine the fucking press conference for those two guys? That'd be great. I wonder how many bottles would be thrown and chairs pushed over. It'd be awesome. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Brendan Allen, he's good. So maybe someone like him. I mean, but like these other guys. I mean, I still think him and Chris Curtis maybe.
Chris Curtis would be a good fight.
Yeah.
Chris, stand and bang.
Go ahead and exchange, yeah.
Right.
Outside of that, man, I think the rest of them are all just too big for him. He's a 70-pounder, but he's blown up a little bit. He's not an 85-pounder.
He's older.
He can't fight the guys at 85.
And he's just,
not right now.
The problem is speed is a big problem.
Yeah.
And it's just...
Well, the guy that I'd like to see him fight if he can make 70, which I don't think he'll make 70, is Vicente Luque. That'd be a good fight. Luque he's on a downtrend a little bit. He's not fast.
If he was going to go to 70, the fight I would put him with is Masvidal.
Yeah. You outdid me, dude. You outdid me.
Okay.
I would take that one for sure.
Did you like a dog, Shrek?
Yep. Yes, you fucking filthy animal. Yeah, I would take that. All right, well, hey, that's going to wrap up our show today. We go to onlyfans.com/WayneIn. It's free, guys. Subscribe to our channel there, and we are putting up some extra content this week available only on onlyfans.com/WayneIn. And go to WayneInMerch.com, pick up some of our merch. We got some new shirts, new designs, new sweaters, sweatshirts, whatever it is, hoodies, all the other good things.
Get that sweater word out of your mouth.
So I said I had to go home and get a T-shirt because I left my T-shirt at the house, and he's like, "Wait," he's like, "You're." And I was talking to Nordy. Nordy's like, "Your dress shirt?" I'm like, "T-shirt."
Yeah.
He's like, "T-shirts don't have collars."
All the same thing.
I'm like, you know what? The fucking thing you wear. Gosh, man, you guys know what I'm talking about. Don't give me a hard time. All right, but hey, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. And that little bell is going to be key this week on some of the hot interviews that we'll be dropping this week. So make sure you guys check that out in the descriptions, but also hit the bell and the thumbs up. The thumbs up does us good, helps that algorithm pump our channel. I've noticed that we've grown another 1,000 within like the last 2 weeks, and hopefully we pick up some more after some interviews that drop this week. So I want to say thank you all for continuing to support us.
People. We appreciate it.
John, take us away, bud.
Hey. Big fights coming up, so we're going to be doing a little bit of highlighting of those coming up soon. So you got to tune in for the next show. And like Josh said, go to OF. Join us because there's going to be some good stuff there. We will see you.